shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Welcome to the Yahweh and Yahshua Speak television show. We are in our series, and this is going to be the last segment of the show entitled The Two Voices Trying to Talk to Our Mind. Only one of them wants us to know who he is. Let's go to Psalms, the 95th chapter. Psalms, the 95th chapter. The two voices trying to talk to our mind. Only one of them wants us to know who he is. Psalms 95. And we want to read verses 6 to 7. Psalms 95, verse 6 to 7, please.
Honor and majesty are before him, strength and beauty.
Psalms 95, verses 6 to 7.
Oh, come, let us worship and
bow. Yeah,
let us kneel before Yahweh, our Maker. For he is our Elohim, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his land. And today, if ye will hear his voice.
All right, it says, oh come and let us, he's talking to us, Shaka, worship, serve, and bow down. Let us kneel before Yahweh, our Maker, our Creator. For he is our Elohim, our Mighty One, and we are his or the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. It says, today if you will hear his voice. So that's one of the two voices that we hear. And we are his sheep, and we do hear his voice. So go to Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. So Yahweh gave us the ability to hear his voice because we are his sheep. And also, not only to hear his voice, but to know that it is him talking to us. We're going to Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. There are two voices trying to talk to our minds. And Yahweh lets us know he is one of them. Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. And let's start at verse 4.
Hallelujah.
But Yahweh, who is rich in mercy, for his great love, wherewith he loved us.
All right, read 5 and 6 too, please.
Even when we were dead in sin, hath quickened us together with Messiah. By grace ye are saved, and have raised us up together, and made us sit together in heavenly places in Messiah Yahshua.
All right, so this is how we have the ability to hear Yahweh's voice and know that it's him talking. It says, but Elohim, or Mighty One, or Yahweh, who's rich in hasid, or mercy, for his great ahab, or love, wherewith he ahab, or loved us. Why, how do we know he loved us? It says, even when we were or dead in Hatah, when we didn't have a clue about Yahweh, when we weren't thinking about Yahweh, it says he quickened us together with Messiah, with the Anointed One. By hain or grace are we, Yahshua, or saved. And not only did he save us, but he's raised us up together and made us sit together with Yahshua in heavenly places in Mashiach Yahshua. And we're going to find out Ruach HaKodesh is a part of Yahshua that's living in us. All right, go to John, the 10th chapter. So Yahweh gave us the ability to hear his voice and know it's him talking, but he wants us to be aware that there's a second voice trying to talk to us. And he wants us to know whose voice that is. John, the 10th chapter. I'm going to read one verse. John, the 10th chapter. And verse 5, please.
Hallelujah.
And a stranger will they not follow, but will thee from
but
him,
will flee
will flee them
from
him, for they know not the voice of strangers.
All right, before we knew Yahweh, we knew the voice of strangers.
Right,
That's the
right.
only voice that we couldn't distinguish between
Right.
voices.
Right.
But now that we know Yahweh, now that we've been
Yes.
raised up together and made to sit
Yes.
together in heavenly places with Yahshua, it says, a stranger will they not follow, but they'll flee from him.
Yup.
Yeah.
For they yada know not the voice of strangers.
Right, right.
So Yahweh tells us the other voice is the devil's voice.
Yeah.
He calls it the stranger's voice. Go to Matthew, the 10th chapter, Matthew, the 10th chapter, or Matthew, the 10th chapter. So he not only does he tell us there's a second voice, but he tells us the second voice is the devil.
Yeah, yeah.
And he tells us that we don't have to listen to that voice
Right.
anymore.
Right, right.
Yes.
He tells us we not only don't have to listen to it, but he tells us how
How.
we can tune it out.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Out.
Matthew chapter 10, and let's read one verse. Verse 1, please.
Hallelujah.
And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
All right, so we're seeing a preview here. We can also read in the Old Testament where he gave his disciples or the prophets or his people power. But here
Yeah.
we're reading in the New Testament,
Yeah, yeah.
the Kadash Barit. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them, Mashel, a power against what? Unclean ruachs. That's against the devil and his dominion.
Y'all
The
right,
devil and
right.
his
Tell like it
demons.
is.
To what? To cast them out.
Yeah, get real.
And to heal all manner of sickness,
Yes.
because that's the devil's dominion. He
Right,
presides
right.
over sickness. They're demons of sickness and all manner of dis-ease or disease.
That's
Let's
right.
go to Luke, the 10th chapter. So Yahweh through Yahshua gave us the power
Yup, yup.
to shut up the devil's voice.
Right.
We're going to see exactly how we do that. Luke, the 10th chapter. And we want to read two verses, verses 19 to 20, please.
Hallelujah.
Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and anything,
And nothing.
and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding, in this rejoice, not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven.
All right. Here is Yahshua saying, behold. He's talking to us. He's talking to his disciples.
Right,
We are
right.
his disciples. I give you, Mashel, a power to tread on serpents and scorpions. He's talking about the devil and
Right,
his
right.
demons.
Y'all right, right.
And over all Hamashel, or the power of the enemy.
Yeah.
He said, and nothing shall by any means hurt you,
Nothing.
as long as you follow the protocol.
That's it.
There's a protocol
Yes,
to
it is.
using that power.
Y'all right, right.
It says, notwithstanding in this Samachah rejoice not.
Right.
Don't be overjoyed because you have power over the enemy. But he said, don't rejoice that those ruach, those spirits are subject unto you, but rather Samachah rejoice because your Shem, your names
Hallelujah.
are written in Shemayim, in the book of
Hallelujah.
life. That's where the real rejoicing
Yes.
is supposed to be. Let's go to Mark, the 16th chapter. But he said, you have power
Yes, we
to
do.
tread on serpents and scorpions.
Yes, we do.
You just gotta learn what you have and learn how to use what you
Hallelujah.
have.
Yes. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Mark 16. He said, and nothing shall by any means hurt
Nothing.
you.
Nothing. No devil or no one or nothing.
Mark 16, and let's read verses 16 to 18, please.
Hallelujah.
He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be judged.
Damn. Yes, go ahead.
And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
So this is some of the power that we have gotten, that Yahshua gave us. Yahweh through Yahshua. It says, he that believeth and is baptized shall be Yahshua saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. And these signs, these abilities shall follow them that believe, shall be a part of those that believe. In my Shem, that Yahshua is talking about his name, we're going to see a little later about how the power is in Yahshua's name. And using that name. Understanding what the name is for. That is your most lethal offensive weapon.
Yes, it is. Rod, tell like
people talk about the defensive weapon. They talk about the armor. If anything comes against you. But you also have an offensive weapon where you can go and you can attack, or you can put down whatever attack is trying to come against you. These signs shall follow them that believe. In my Shem or name shall they cast out demons or devils. They, Shelomah, speak with new tongues. They, he's talking about you and me, shall take up serpents, not physical snakes, but spiritual. And if they drink any mavet or deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. You don't do it on purpose, drink some poison. You drink some poison, you're going to die. Because you're tempting Yahweh. It shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. So this is us being used as a conduit of Yahweh's power. He's given us those abilities. But we have to understand what we have and exactly what their protocols and different procedures, how you use that power that you have.
Hallelujah.
All right, go to Romans the 6th chapter. Romans the 6th chapter. So why did Yahweh give us power through Mashiach to control the devil and to shut up the devil's voice? He gave us power to shut the devil's voice up because the devil will never voluntarily shut up. You have to make him shut up.
Big bully.
And there's no reason for us to listen to the devil because whenever he talks, he's lying.
That's it all the time.
Romans the 6th chapter. So that's why Yahweh gave us this power. And he wants us to use it. Romans the 6th chapter. And we'll read 2 verses. Verses 3 to 4, please.
Hallelujah.
Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Yahshua, Messiah, were baptized unto his death. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Messiah was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life.
Yes.
Alright, he says, Yada, or know you not. He wants us to know now. We didn't know before this.
No, we didn't.
We won't know unless we get in here and study and understand what Yahweh is telling us.
Tell like it is,
Then believe it after he tells us.
Yes.
Yada, know you not that so many of us, whichever ones of us were baptized into Yahshua Mashiach, that includes all of us here, and the rest of Yahweh's people throughout the world. That's why you have some people standing up talking about you don't need to be baptized. You understand? They want to strip you of your power to stop you. The devil wants to stop you from getting the power that you need so you can control him.
Hallelujah.
We're in a war.
Yes, we are.
And so we're in a war, and we're up under the person that shows us how to win every time. We're never supposed to lose.
Hallelujah.
It says, do you not know that so many of us that were baptized into Yahshua Mashiach were baptized into his mavet? in his Mabed, he got the victory. It
Yes.
says he spoiled Hasatan.
Yeah.
He made a show of him openly. He triumphed over him.
Yes.
He stripped him of his power.
Hallelujah.
And he turned around and he gave us
Yes.
all the power back. He said, therefore, we're buried with him by baptism into Mabed or death. So that weak person that we used to be
Right.
died in the war.
That's it. Y'all right,
Like
boy. Tell like it is.
Mashiach or the anointed one was raised up
Yes.
from Hamuth or the dead by Hakabod or the glory of Ha'aba or the Father.
Yes.
Even so, we also should walk in newness of
That's
kind.
it.
Strong in Yahweh and
That's
the power
it.
of his might. All right, go to Philippians, the 2nd chapter.
Hallelujah.
So we got the power. We have the power
Yes.
to shut up the devil and to control the devil by accepting Yahshua, by going through the baptism process and receiving Ruach HaKadosh. Philippians, the 2nd chapter. We got the power.
Yes, we do. Right now.
By accepting Yahshua as our Savior. That's why you have other people talking about, you don't need Yahshua.
Huh.
Don't be a fool.
I know, right?
Philippians 2, and let's read verses 9 to 11, please.
Hallelujah.
And being, wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahshua every knee should bow of things in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth.
Yes. Yes.
And that every tongue should confess that Yahshua Messiah is Master,
That's
to
right.
the glory of Yahweh.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
It says, wherefore, because Yahshua came and gave his life and made a path for us to receive that power, Yahshua got the power back, and then he turned around and said, I've given you the keys to the kingdom. Wherefore, Yahweh Elohim also highly exalted him. And what did he do? He gave him a name which is above every name.
Yes.
Not just the name of people, the name of places,
Right.
the name of things.
That's right.
That name is above everything.
Everything.
It says that at the name of Yahshua, every knee should bow.
Yep.
At the name of Yahshua, the devil has to shut his mouth.
Yes, he does. Yes, he will.
When you do it according to the protocol. He
Hallelujah.
cannot continue when you use that name and you do it in the way that he said to use it. Of things in heaven and things in the earth and things under the earth.
Okay.
So Yahshua's name is very, very, very critical. It's important.
Hallelujah.
And that every tongue should confess that Yahshua Mashiach or Yahshua the Anointed One is the Master. He is Adon. Why? And that gives kabod or glory to the Father.
Yes.
Because the Father sent him to be the Master, to take the mastery of the earth back.
Yes.
All right, we're in Ephesians. Let's go to Ephesians, the 6th chapter. We're in Philippians. Let's go to Ephesians, the 6th chapter.
Hallelujah.
So using Yahshua's name, Ephesians 6, is the most lethal offensive weapon we have. Again, we know about the defensive weapons.
Right.
We know about, okay, if we're minding our own business and then the devil tries to attack us, then we understand, okay, we're going to read right here that we have some armor.
Right.
But we also, what's the saying goes, if somebody starts something, we also know how to finish it.
That's right.
All right? And you finish it with the name of Yahshua.
That's it.
You'll make him sorry he ever tried to attack. And this is what Yahweh wants you to do.
Yeah.
Ephesians 6, and let's read verses 10 to 11.
Hallelujah.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Master and in the power of his might. For on the whole... Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Now, so this is our defensive weaponry, some of it. It says, finally, my ark and Arkoth, Yahweh's people, be coac or strong in Yahweh, and in Hamashel, the power of his might.
His might.
That's how we're strong. His might. That's how you fight the devil.
Yep.
His might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh. You never take it off.
Yeah.
Every day you reaffirm that you have on the whole armor of Yahweh and that you're strong in the power of his might. That should be a part of your prayers every morning. All right? Put on the whole armor of Elohim or Yahweh that you may be able to stand against the wiles or the tricks of the devil. One of the tricks of the devil was him talking to you and trying to make you think it wasn't him.
Right.
He tries to make you think it's you saying that to yourself. When something says, you know, that was stupid, why did I do that? That's him! That's him! And before we knew, we were thinking that it was us.
Right.
No, that was him. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 1st chapter. So the devil does not want us to use this powerful offensive weapon, which is the name of Yahshua, to control him. He doesn't like to be controlled. He doesn't like to be told what to do. You can see that's why you got kicked out of the heaven of heavens.
Right.
1 Corinthians, the 1st chapter. And let's read verse 2. 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 2.
Upon the assembly of Yahshua.
1 Corinthians 1 and verse 2. Okay, there we go.
Unto the assembly of Yahweh, which is at Corinth, to them that are sanctified in Messiah, Yahshua called to be saints, with all that in every place call upon the name of Yahshua Messiah, our Master, both theirs and ours.
Hallelujah.
All right, so this is what we do as the people of Yahweh, as the chief of Yahweh. It says, unto the temple of Elohim, which is at Corinth, to them which are sanctified or set apart, or called and chosen, in Mashiach, the anointed one Yahshua, Korah, or called to be Kadashim, or saints, with all that in every place call upon Hashem, or the name of Yahshua, Mashiach, our Master, our Adon, both theirs and ours. This is what we all have in common. Yahshua is our Master, and we call upon Yahshua's name. So it's not just praying to the Father in Yahshua's name. Yahshua's understanding what Yahshua's name is about and how to use it is critical to your walking in victory in Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
We're in 1 Corinthians. Go to the 5th chapter. 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, and we want to read verse 4, please.
Hallelujah.
In the name of our Master, Yahshua, Messiah, when ye are gathered together, and my spirit with the power of our Master, Yahshua Messiah.
All right, see how he keeps saying he's our Master, our Master.
Right.
And in the Shem, in the name of our Master, our Adon, Yahshua Mashiach, Yahshua the Anointed One, when ye are gathered together, and my Ruach, talking about Ruach HaKadosh, Yahweh's power source, with Hamashel, or the power of our Master, Yahshua Mashiach. So there's none of us that should be walking around acting like we're weak and don't have any power.
I know, right?
We need some understanding and knowledge about what we have. When we came up out of that water, we are walking in newness of life. But this mind is turned off and clueless about that newness of life till we get in there and study and find out what type of new creature am I? How am I walking in newness of life? What do I have now that I've repented, been baptized, and I've become a new creature? What is my power? Where does my power lie? Go to 1 John, the 3rd chapter. So it lies in the power of the name of our
Yes.
Master, Yahshua
Yes.
Mashiach. 1 John, the 3rd chapter.
Holler Yahweh.
All right, 1 John, the 3rd chapter.
You say 1 John?
1 John, the 3rd chapter. We're going to read one verse. Verse 23.
Hallelujah.
And John also.
1 John, not Gospel of John. 1 John, the 3rd chapter. I'll read it.
Yeah.
And this is his commandment. This is a command now.
Yeah.
That we should believe
Huh.
on the name of his Son, Yahshua Mashiach,
Thank you, Father Yahweh. Yes.
and love one another as he gave us commandments.
Yes.
Yes.
But this is a command to believe on Yahshua's
Right,
name. And we can only believe as far as we know.
That's
So
it.
now that's why Yahweh's taking us in deeper so we can believe to the fullest extent.
Yes.
It's a commandment. And there's power in the name of Yahshua. Now go to Acts, the 15th chapter. There is power in the name of Yahshua.
Yes, it is.
And the devil does not want us to learn how to
No,
use
he
that
does
name.
not.
He does not want us to learn that there is power.
Hallelujah.
Not only in his blood, there's power in everything about Yahshua.
That's what it say in all places.
Acts the 15th chapter. And let's read verses 25 to 26,
Hallelujah.
It seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord,
Yes.
to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our sojourn, Yahshua
Yes.
Messiah.
All right, so it seemed told to us, being assembled with one accord,
Yes.
Echad accord,
Yes.
to send chosen Adam,
Yeah.
who unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Shaul of Paul, men that have hazarded their lives for
Put up
what?
their life.
For the name, the Shem,
For the Shem.
of our Master, our Adon, Yahshua Mashiach, Yahshua
Yes.
the Anointed One. So when you stand up talking about you represent Yahshua and Yahshua is giving you power, you come to start hazarding, it says hazarding your life. Why? Because the devil doesn't want you standing up, lifting up Yahshua,
Right.
talking about there's power in Yahshua's name, there's power in his blood. Yahshua is the answer, Yahshua is the key. That's why you have so many people standing up rejecting Yahshua. Why? Because the devil wants to keep them undercover.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be controlled. All right? That is your most powerful weapon.
Hallelujah.
But men hazard their lives for the name of the Master Yahshua Mashiach.
Yes.
Acts the 5th chapter. Like you stick your neck out, but the thing is, Yahweh's got your neck.
Yes. Yes.
And like you watch in Hollywood and they portray all these horror movies, and then the devil has them acting like whoever is the most satanic person always win. That's backwards. No, it's the other way around.
Right.
And they act like if there's a exorcism to be done, that the devil just whoops.
I know, right?
Whoever it is trying to do the exorcism all over. That's only in Hollywood.
Right.
In reality, now Yahweh is letting you know how it is.
Tell it like it is, Rod.
All right, Acts the 5th chapter. Let's read start at verse 25, please.
Hallelujah.
Then came one and told them, saying, Behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people.
I
Yes.
believe this was Cephas and Yochanan. Either way, it was some of the disciples.
Right.
And now they're telling the chief priests and the Pharisees and scribes, it says, here is someone coming and telling them, look, the men that you had in prison, they're back in the temple.
I know, right?
Yahweh or teaching
I know, right?
Yahweh's people. All right, because they had threatened them and told them, look, don't do that. So now you're going to see they specifically told them, don't mention Yahshua's name.
Okay.
Why? Because the devil knows that's where the power is. All right, reads verses 26 to 29.
Hallelujah.
Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, Did not we thereby straightly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us.
29.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey Yahweh rather than men.
All right.
Hallelujah.
So then, when they found out they were teaching in the temple, it said the captain with the officers went and brought these brothers that were teaching in the temple. It said without violence, because they were afraid of the people, because the people would have stoned them trying to take the brothers out of the temple.
Right.
It says when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high Kohen or priest asked them, saying, Didn't we command you not to teach in this name, talking about Yahshua's name? All right. And behold, you fill Jerusalem with your doctrine. No, they were filling it with the doctrine of Yahweh.
That's
just
it.
like we're doing, all Yahweh's people are doing.
Hallelujah.
And intend to bring this man's blood upon us. Well, they did. They were instigators at Yahshua's death. But here, Kepha hazarding his life,
Right.
like we do when we stand up for what's right in this world. But
Right.
again, Yahweh, He has our protection.
Yes, he
He
does.
is our protection. Then Kepha and the other apostles, they answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men.
That's it.
It doesn't matter what you do to command me to not to teach in
I know,
Yahweh's
right?
name, to not do what Yahweh said. All right, Acts the 4th chapter. And we want to start at verse 13. Acts the 4th chapter. Let's start at verse 13.
Hallelujah.
Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahshua.
Now, when they said unlearned and ignorant, according to their schools or their specification, their criteria.
Right.
Because there are those that look at us and the ones that Yahweh picked to stand up before His people, and they will classify you the same way if you haven't gone to a certain school or you don't have certain credentials.
Right.
It said, but they saw the boldness
I know, right?
of Kepha and Yochanan, and perceived that according to them they were ignorant and unlearned because they hadn't gone to their schools or weren't a part of their clique, their group. They wondered at them, and then they took knowledge, they thought about, they were with
Yes.
all right, before he got killed.
Yes.
All right, read, start at verse 14, please.
And beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it.
And read on down to 17.
But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they confirmed among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them, is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it.
Yeah, they wanted to, but they Verse 17.
but that it spread no further among the people. Let us straitly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in this name.
See how they keep coming back to that name of Yahshua?
Yeah.
It said they came together and had a meeting because these brothers laid their hands on this man and he was healed. Yahweh used them as a conduit by the power in Yahshua's name. We're going to see some examples where they were using Yahshua's name. And it says, hey, we can't deny that a notable miracle was done, but now to stop it from spreading among the people, let's threaten them. Let's threaten whoever's standing up and saying, hey, Yahweh has a son, and Yahweh's son, his name is this, and his son, his name has power, and we're up under his blood. Let's threaten them that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. Talking about the name of Yahshua. All right, verse 18 to 21.
And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahshua. But Peter and John answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of Elohim to hearken unto you more than unto Elohim judge ye. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard.
Yes.
So when they had further threatened them, they let them go, finding nothing, how they might punch them, because of the people. For all men glorified Elohim for that which was done.
All right, so verse 18 says, when they called them and commanded them not to speak at all or teach in the name of, if you were wondering what it was, the name of Yahshua, the name of Yahweh's son. Why? Because that's the most powerful, the most lethal, offensive weapon. Where you can go out and take some territory with it. It said they commanded them not to speak at all or teach in the name of Yahshua. And then Keith and Yakanan both said, hey, whether it be right in the sight of Yahweh to listen to you more than him, you judge that. We already know who we have to listen to. He said, but we are going to speak the things that we have seen and we've heard. Then it said, then they threatened them further. Then they had to let them go because they didn't see anything else that they could hold them on. All right, go to Mark, the 1st chapter. So now Yahshua proved that we shut the devil up by telling him we know it's him talking. Mark, the 1st chapter. So he's not undercover anymore. And don't be like these crazy people that have Ouija boards and holding seances and all this other stuff. You don't call the devil. But if he comes trying to mess with you, then you call him out. And we're going to see how you call him out. And the main thing, the first thing Yahshua lets us know is you let him know you know it's him. Mark 1, and let's read verses 23 to 27.
Hallelujah.
And there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Yahshua of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know there who thou art, the Holy One of Elohim.
Hallelujah.
And Yahshua rebuked him, saying, hold thy peace, and come out of him.
Okay, hold on just a minute. All right, so we see in the temple, there's the temple. The man was in there with a demon. Inside him, that unclean spirit. That's Satan's territory. That's one of his demons. Yahshua walked in the temple, and then the man started crying out. So
Right.
the demon was using the man's voice. And he said, whoa, let us alone. So there was more, he man, more than one demon in him.
Yep.
What are we to do with thee, thou Yahshua of Nazareth? Are you come to destroy us? I know who you are, you the Kadash one of Elohim, the mighty one. And Yahshua rebuked him,
Right.
saying, hold thy peace. In other words, shut up and come out of him. All right, verse 26 to 27.
And when the unclean spirit had torn him and cried with a loud voice, he came out of him. And they were all amazed, insomuch that they questioned among themselves, saying, what thing is this? What new doctrine is this? For with authority commandeth he ever even the unclean spirit, and they do obey him.
And he's giving you this same authority.
Yes.
It said they were all amazed when this demon, this unclean spirit, cried with a loud voice, and he came out of the man, had to come out. They were amazed, and they were asking questions like, what thing is this? What new doctrine is this? For with authority he commands even unclean spirits, and they obey him. You have that same power and authority.
Yes, we do.
So the English word rebuked is a Greek word found at Blue Letter Bible number 2008. Thayer's Greek lexicon defines it as meaning to restrain, to admonish, to charge sharply, to censor severely. In other words, he told the enemy, shut up and come out.
Check.
All right, go to Mark, the 9th chapter. He's demonstrating how we deal with the devil.
Right.
I don't have to sit there going back and forth.
No.
No conversation with it.
No.
Mark 9, and let's read verses 23 to 25.
Hallelujah.
And oftentimes it has cast them into
Mark, the 9th chapter, verse 23.
Praise mighty Yah.
Mark 9, verse 23.
Yahshua said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Master, I believe it. Help thou mine unbelief.
Hallelujah.
25 too.
When Yahshua saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more unto him.
Hallelujah.
All right. So here Yahshua is telling the man, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believe it. And people get confused. They think their part is to believe and to do it. No, your part is to believe Yahweh.
Right.
If Yahweh says to say some words, if Yahweh says to put your hand out or whatever, it's not up to you to do it. Let Yahweh do what he's going to do.
Yes.
Yahshua said, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believe. And straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Master, I believe. Help my unbelief. If I'm not believing the right way, show me.
Yes.
And that's what we want to do.
Yes.
Yahweh has a part and we have a part.
Hallelujah.
Our part is to trust and believe Yahweh's telling us the truth. And the devil wants to lie and tell you, no, Yahweh, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Don't stand up and say that, see, because you'll look like a fool.
I know, right?
Tell him, look, you already the biggest fool in the world.
I know, right?
And I'm not trying to follow after you. So get away from me in Yahshua's name.
Yes.
So Yahshua said, when he saw the people come running together trying to look and see, he rebuked the foul spirit. Talking about the devil now, controlling the devil, shutting him up. And he said to him, you dumb and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him. And now you see, he said, and don't come back in it.
Right.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
We have that same power to say, get out and don't come back anymore. All right, let's go to Luke, the 4th chapter. When you finish reading, you'll see he had to come out. Luke, the 4th chapter. And let's read verses 32 to 35. Please.
Hallelujah.
And they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. And in the synagogue there was a man which had a spirit of an unclean devil, and cried out with a loud voice, saying, Let us alone. Thou Yahshua of Nazareth, art thou come to destroy us? I know there who thou art, the Holy One of Elohim.
Yes.
And Yahshua rebuked him, saying, Hold thy peace, and come out of him. And when the devil had thrown him in the midst, he came out of him and hurt him not.
All right, so we're seeing another account of
Right.
the same account, but now Luke is talking about it.
Right.
But the emphasis is that he was up in the temple
Right.
with that unclean spirit.
I know, right?
And the protocol Yahshua used was he rebuked that demon who's talking about, I know who you are and all that.
Yeah,
Shut up. Don't be some demon, let some demon stand up. We're going to see the scripture where there was a woman standing up and trying to act like she's representing Yahweh, talking about who we are or what somebody that represents Yahweh is doing. Shut them up. Yahweh don't need the devil having nobody stand up talking about who you are or what you're doing. All right? Yahshua rebuked him saying, hold your peace and come out of him. And then the devil always got to get his last lick. Anyway, he had to come out. Let's go to John, the 14th chapter.
Hallelujah.
John, the 14th chapter. So Ruach HaKodash's power is Yahshua's name.
Yeah.
Using Yahshua's name.
Okay.
You can tap into the power of Ruach HaKodash.
Praise. Hallelujah.
John 14. And verses 25 to 26.
Hallelujah.
These things have I spoken unto you, being yet present with you. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I have said unto you.
All right, so here's Yahshua saying, but the Comforter, which is Ruach HaKodash, whom Ha'abba or the Father will send in my name.
Yeah.
That's where the power is in Yahshua's name, and that's the power of Ruach HaKodash. It shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I've said unto you.
Yes.
Because we need to understand exactly what this power in Yahshua's name is about.
Okay.
You have it because you have Ruach HaKodash. All right? Go to Matthew, the 12th chapter. Matthew, the 12th chapter. And we're not going to read where they were accusing Yahshua of being a part of a Hasatan, the devil, by casting out demons. And he got him straight. But we just saw the power in Yahshua's name from Ruach HaKodash.
Right.
But so Yahshua got him straight. But let's start at Matthew 12. Let's start at verse 30.
Hallelujah.
Matthew 12 and verse 30, and read down to verse 32, please.
Hallelujah.
He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathered not with me scattered abroad. Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit shall not be forgiven unto men. And whosoever speaketh a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaketh against the Holy Spirit, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come.
Yeah, we just saw in Yakan, John the 14th chapter, the Comforter, which is Ruach HaKodesh, the Father sending in Yahshua's name. Now we see over here in Matthew, he said, Yahshua saying, he is not with me is against me.
Right.
And he that gather not with me is on the other side. He said, all manner of sin and blasphemy will be forgiven men, but when you blaspheme in Ruach HaKodesh, when you're not understanding the power, or you're talking against the power,
Right.
or you're trying to minimize the power, or make it something that is not, or you're trying to separate it that it didn't come in Yahshua's name. He said, the blasphemy against Ruach HaKodesh shall not be forgiven unto men. Or you're standing up after you went through the process, and just because you're ignorant of what power you have or what the protocol is, then you're going to act like you don't have the power, or stand up or say you can't do this or you can't do that. That's blasphemy
Y'all right.
against the power. You got the power. Just stand up and say, look, I got the power. I'm just ignorant. I don't know how to use it.
Right.
All right? I'm weak because I won't tap in and use the protocol, or even want to find out what the protocol is. Don't stand up acting like Yahweh is weak. No, you're just weak and you're just ignorant about what you have and how to use the power. And want to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
He said that blasphemy is not going to be forgiven you. He said, whoever speaks against, he said, you can talk against Yahshua and get forgiveness, but talking against Ruach HaKodesh, that power source that Yahweh has given us, it will not be forgiven in this world nor the world to come. All right, so Yahshua demonstrated the power that's in his name, and I want to skip over so we can get to where we can, let's go to Acts the 16th chapter. He demonstrated the power that's in his name, and so he did not have to call his name to control the devil.
Right.
Why? Because he was Yahshua.
Yeah.
But when we use that power that he's given us, we have to call Yahshua's name.
Yes.
There is an exact protocol or procedure to using Yahshua's name as a spiritual weapon. Acts the 16th chapter. And we want to read verses 16 to 18.
Hallelujah.
Acts 16, 16 to 18.
And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination, which brought us masters much gain by soothsaying. Soothsaying. The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High, El, which shew unto us the way of salvation. And this did she many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the Spirit, I command thee, in the name of Yahshua Messiah, to come out of her. And he came out the same hour.
So we see from this factual account that there was a woman following him and acting like she was talking and and representing Yahweh. And it said this damsel, she was possessed with a devil, that spirit. She met him and she was following Shaul and some other disciples and talking, crying behind him. These men are the servants of Elyon Elohim, which show us the way of salvation. Now this is the demon talking to her.
I know, right?
He said, this she did many days. But Shaul, being grieved, turned and said to the demon in her, I command you in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach to come out of her. All right? This is how we do it. This is the power that Yahweh has given us. And it said, and that demon came out of her. And then you can read further and see that the people that were using her got upset
Right.
because they could no more do whatever it was, con game they were doing.
Right.
Go to Acts the 19th chapter. And now here's some people gonna perpetrate, and they're gonna act like they know how to use the name of
Okay.
Yahshua, and they're gonna mess themselves up.
Right.
They didn't know the protocol,
Nope.
and they come talking about Yahweh says, for us to say directly, just like Shaul, I command you
Right.
in the name of Yahshua. Well, they're going to say, well, we command you to come out according to the Yahshua that Shaul knows. No, Acts 19, and let's start at verse 13.
Hallelujah.
Acts 19 and read 13 to 20.
Praise the mighty Yah.
This is how not to do it.
I know, right?
Then certain of the vagabond Jews,
Exorcist.
exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the certain Yahshua, saying, we adjure you by Yahshua, whom called priest.
All right, so now they didn't have a relationship with Yahweh.
Right.
Okay? They weren't following Yahweh.
Okay.
They figure, okay, well, we're going to do this. We'll just say what he said, and we'll get the same result. They said, hey, we command you to come out by Yahshua that Shaul was talking about. It don't work like that. All right, verse 14.
And there were 7 sons of one Sibyl, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahshua, I know, and Paul, I know, but who are you? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them